Hi everybody, Dai Holokahi here and
Jaira.
here to welcome you guys to our official virtual open house for Rush Ranch. And so today is the kickoff of this event, and we wish that we can meet you guys all on Saturday, which would be the normal day we'd be meeting at Rush Ranch with everyone. But we were able to stretch it out and get some videos and presentations from our favorites for us to share with you guys all week long. What's your favorite video?
The horses.
The horses. Who doesn't love the horses at Rush? So, without further ado, today's video, we're going to introduce Corky Quirk, who has been one of our favorite presenters, and she will be talking about her bat.
Hi, my name is Corky. I'm with Northern California Bats, and I'm going to be sharing with you about bats today for the Rush Ranch Open House virtual program for 2021. So I am with Northern California Bats. We do wildlife rescue, specializing in bats, taking in sick, injured, and orphaned bats, trying to help return them to the wild. And we also do education programs throughout the state. With wildlife rescue, sometimes we get adults into care. Sometimes they need extra nutrition, or maybe they've broken a bone or have a tear in a wing. And sometimes we have the little orphans that need to be raised. We also do outreach education programs, both in person and via Zoom, to help teach people about these marvelous animals. Now, I do want to mention COVID-19. You know, mammals and birds are known to have coronaviruses, not just bats. And we still don't really know where this virus came from. But there is a bat in China, the horseshoe bat, that is a virus that's similar, not the same, but similar to the virus causing COVID-19. So there's questions whether that particular virus changed at some point and was able to enter the human population. However it got to us, it's because of the things that we do, whether that be wildlife trade, habitat destruction, going into areas where humans have never been before, taking animals out of the wild and placing them in captivity next to other animals that they normally would never be around. Many things. We also know you can't get COVID-19 directly from a bat. So you are safe. Now, bats are amazing because they are mammals that fly with their hands. They have fingers, they have a thumb, and they have lots of skin. Now, worldwide, there's over 1,400 different kinds of bats. And that's pretty impressive when you think about that there's only around 6,400 different kinds of mammals. So this chart shows us all the different kinds of mammals on our planet divided by their order or their big grouping. And the bats, 1,421 at the last count, second largest grouping. Now in the United States, we have 47 species, 25 in California, and 17 in the northern part of the state. They live on every continent except Antarctica, and everywhere that bats live, there are bats eating insects. All over the world, bats eat insects. But there are some other types, fruit bats, many of which eat insects too. Nectar bats that are pollinators, again, many eat insects. The meat eaters, which eat birds or frogs or fish, a lot of them eat the insects too. And then there are 3 species of vampire bat that live on a liquid diet and drink blood. But I'm going to focus on our bats. Bats in the United States eat insects and sometimes other invertebrates.
Bats eat bugs.
They don't eat people.
Bats eat bugs.
They don't fly in your hair.
Bats bugs.
They eat insects for dinner.
That's why we're flying a bug.
So let's meet a couple of our local species and learn about the Mexican free-tailed bat and the big brown bat.
Here's the Mexican free-tailed bat, and that's free as in F-R-E-E. And the Mexican free-tailed bat is, well, it's our star, right? These guys are amazing flyers, and they have many adaptations for speed. So that short fur, less drag, right? They have little wrinkly lips, pretty good sized eyes. Yeah. Their teeth are smaller. Can you show us your teeth? Yeah. Smaller teeth. And smaller teeth don't weigh as much. So again, an adaptation for speed. You can see her thumbs there. And being that she's so cooperative with echolocating, I like to offer her a mealworm. Now, mealworms are not what they would eat in the wild. They would eat beetles. But mealworms are the larva of a beetle. And mealworms stay in a bowl. So I train the bats that stay in captivity to eat mealworms from a bowl. So this is what a mealworm is. Okay. They only eat them live. They don't eat the dead ones. Unlike my chickens who would eat it either way, right? And you want it? Says, oh, that's pretty good stuff. She'll eat, oh, maybe 20 of these a night. She just crawls in the bowl, grabs one, and then crawls back up and hides in her cage. She has little cloth and little pouches to go into and such, and she'll take her mealworm, go and eat it, and then come back and get another one. So I don't know if you can see, she uses her tongue as well, and she'll often lick her lips. Keep her little muzzle nice and clean. So as we wrap up today, I want to share with you some of our rescues from this year. So on the left, we have a Townsend's big-eared bat that unfortunately during the wintertime fell and apparently landed on his ears, those huge ears. And in this photo, you could see that there's some odd coloring. He had some pretty severe bruising that we had to help him to recover from that head injury. Top on the right are a couple of big brown bats. They're actually still in care with us. Some kind of a predator, we think, got into their roost, and each of them had a break in the arm of the wing, and so they have little casts on. They've been to the vet several times, and things are looking pretty good for them, so we're hopeful. And then the little fellow down on our lower right is a Mexican free-tailed bat, and a family was out hiking at Folsom Lake, and this little bat was on the ground, and when they stopped, it actually crawled up on this fellow's leg. You can see in the picture, unfortunately, he has a little break there right at his wrist. Veterinarian tried to repair it. We were not successful with repairing that wing, and so he now had to have a portion of that amputated, and so he'll be living the rest of his life in care with us, and will be an ambassador like the bats that you saw in those two previous videos. We also had a situation up in Placerville, so that's on our left here. And sadly, the bat house that you see, the story has a happy ending, but this particular bat house, it was winter, and the people had sold their personal home, and they had to take down the bat house because, unfortunately, the new owners didn't appreciate what the bats could do. They took it down thinking that there were no bats in it. Unfortunately, there were. There were 24, I believe it was, inside there. And because they had been roused during the winter time up in an area where the temperatures were freezing, we felt it was best for the bats if we kept them in care until the weather got good. Found a new place in the community for the bat house, and you can see this fella mounting the new the bat house up, and then the little bats are returned into their home in a new area with people who are more friendly. This bat in the center came from West Sacramento. It's a western red bat. It had a very severe head injury, but I chose to put it in here because I just think they're amazingly beautiful. They hang like a peach in a tree, and they just look like a piece of fruit. And then the fella here, I call him Mr. Hoary, on our far right. And you can see he has a pretty bad looking injury right there at his wrist. And our veterinarian decided to use fish scales to help that heal, because the traditional forms that she was trying to use with it weren't working so well. So we've had a pretty exciting season already this year. Pup season, baby season is right around the corner. We'll be seeing them come in late May, mostly in June, and maybe even early July. So I hope you enjoyed the bats today.
I hope you enjoyed learning about the bats with Northern California bats. If you want more information about some of our local species or about how you can help the bats, you can visit us at norcalbats.org. Thank you.
Solano Land Trust has really paved the way for so many of our local residents in our community to be able to access nature in its most natural state. The Solano County Office of Education has a strong priority in a number of areas, including student wellness, equity, career pathways, certainly accessibility, and our partnership with the Solano Land Trust is a perfect match. Because I believe that our priorities certainly are aligned in how do we bring accessibility and accessible nature to all individuals in our local community.
Well, what's available here at Rush Ranch, if you've never been here, is an opportunity, one, to connect with nature. That's number one. Two, opportunities to bring your family out here. Doesn't matter if they have disabilities or not. It's a place where you can come and picnic, and an opportunity to learn about the land and the culture that is so rich here in Solano County.
The Solano County Office of Education, alongside with administrators, educators, health professionals, recognize the critical importance of social emotional well-being of young people. And we know that there's a correlation between social emotional well-being and being in nature. And the opportunity that Rush Ranch brings is education and what we ordinarily might call book learning to life.
Well, one of my first memories and my favorite is my son, David Williams. David was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and he was in a wheelchair. Unfortunately, my son David passed away in 2018. But my most favorable memory is him having this great smile on his face and so excited to have an opportunity to interact with horses and get to ride on the carriage. That was just the most memorable moment that I have, seeing that smile on his face and the excitement exuding from him. Rush Ranch has been and will always be a wonderful place and very dear to my heart and my family's heart for all that it has provided for my son the opportunity to do things that he would not necessarily been able to do.
We see the remarkable impact that the outdoors has on our students when they visit properties such as Rush Ranch, when they experience the fresh air, when they see and interact with the horses and the other animals, when they interact with the displays and the bones. Our students just light up. Community support for Solano Land Trust will provide transportation to farmland and open spaces, which helps to remove barriers that we talked about and connect our young people to untold opportunities. Your contributions will help develop more nature-based curriculum and help support students that may be going through social-emotional challenges. Your donation will inspire limitless potential and foster a love of the land that will live on through future generations. Finally, your contribution will help the Solano Land Trust protect what makes Solano County such a beautiful and remarkable place to live.